to another episode of My Hair is Blue Now. Thank you for being here. I don't really know what to do with my hands. Have a sip of coffee. Cheers. Well, I've been wanting to sit down with you for a little while. And just have a little chat. I thought I would do it kind of vlog style because I don't know that I can really multitask that well. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts, kind of like, I don't know, a journaling device, but also as a way of connecting with people. If you've been with me for a while, you'll know that I really value openness and honesty, and I think that there's a lot of value in just sharing stories, and I keep getting distracted by my own hair. It's pretty new, it's only like a couple of days, and I don't see it very often actually. So, I've got these little avocado earrings. I've also got Wiley, this little Wiley, and I'm gonna kind of just have him here. I love the corduroy effect. I think it was like $4. But I love him. I know I'm kind of procrastinating, but I'm also like just trying to get myself comfortable. I'm not really nervous. Like, I'm not nervous about being in front of the camera anymore. It's just sort of like that transition from like, I've just been in my own head all day, and now I've got to try and like change focus. Yeah. So, I have autism. That is the title of the video, I'm pretty sure. I went and got an assessment done, and there were a few of you that were kind of following my journey, I guess, and were being like really super supportive and kind, and my last post, when I sort of made the announcement that I had my diagnosis, the comments on that post just blew me away. I don't know, you guys are like the kindest people. And I'm so grateful, and I so appreciate you. Kind of made me tear up a little bit. So, I'm sure I'll edit a lot of these silences out the last couple days. I've just been really struggling to do anything. I've just been in bed a lot. It's okay. I'm learning to be kind to myself, but it can be frustrating when I want to do things and I can't. I'm just like tracing the lines. My room is just such a mess. I made like this background here somewhat presentable, like it's okay. It's not great, it's okay. You can't see the rest of my room. Thank goodness. And it really gets me down. It really does, because I just can't clean it like I really want to, and I just get so overwhelmed. I feel like I'm going all out of order. You're going to have some work to do when you edit this, Hannah. Yeah. Okay, so let's actually just give some background and not just start off with whatever my brain wants to ramble on about. Yes, I went and got an assessment done about a month ago, and before that I was on the waiting list to get this assessment done for about 18 months. It was well over a year at any rate. The emotional and mental gymnastics that I did in that time, I would kind of oscillate between like, oh, I'm so autistic, like, you know, this is where I fit, like this makes sense, and then I would go the other way and just be like, I'm a complete fraud, I'm just making it all up, I don't know what I'm getting this assessment for, because like they're just, you know, it's going to be nothing. So I did that for about a year. And I've been pretty well supported in this journey, but you know, I've had people sort of in the, not in my inner circle, but sort of in the outer circle of my life, that they're kind of like, oh, you know, well, you don't look autistic, or you don't, you're very high functioning is what I was told, like even if you do have it, you're very high functioning, so it doesn't really matter, which is pretty hurtful, because like if you don't know, like the terms with autism, the terms like high functioning and I guess low functioning were used for a while, but they are now rejected by the autistic community, because, well, I don't know, I've not like done a whole heap of research on it, but this is the general feel that I get, and at least for me, like I'm not an expert in any means, I'm just sharing my story. At least for me, I clearly didn't get this far in life without being diagnosed because I looked autistic. Did that sentence make sense? I didn't get this far without getting diagnosed because I look autistic. I think that makes sense. look on the outside doesn't necessarily reflect what's going on in my head. So the term high functioning, generally, it relates to how other people see me and how my behavior affects other people. It doesn't really have anything to do with my own internal battles, my own internal struggles. So when someone tells me that I'm high functioning, it kind of just means, well, I don't see a problem, so there isn't one. And it kind of invalidates all of my experiences. So it was just a long time. And then I finally got a date for the assessment, which was like 3 months away. And then I had to go, and there was a lot of stress around who would go with me, if anyone would go with me, and I thought maybe I would just go by myself, but the concern was raised if that was the best idea, which is valid, because in the past, like my stress, my anxiety has prevented me from doing things, and it would be a shame if I lost the opportunity because of the anxiety I was experiencing. But in the end, I did just go by myself, and it was like it was in Melbourne, which is a few hours drive from where I am. And the assessment itself was really good. I was really pleased with the doctor that I got. Several thoughts were trying to come out at the same time. I was notified when I got the appointment who I was going to see, and I was able to look at her profile on the website, and I was quite happy with that. I said I would have chosen this doctor anyway. I reached out. I'm part of a Facebook group just saying, like, I've got my assessment in a couple weeks, any advice on how I can prepare. And there were some really good responses on there. People are very kind, and one of the things that was said was I should try not to mask as much as possible, and just be just my natural self. And that's a very difficult thing, because at that point I kind of wasn't convinced I really was autistic, and so I wasn't really masking, and what does masking even mean, like personally, and but I tried. I thought, oh, I'll try it, like keep it in mind. And so I really did, and it was actually an amazing experience. It was very eye-opening for me. I'd never really thought to do that before, and it was dual. It was kind of that I was trying, and also that it was a space that was specifically set up for, like, to make people comfortable. So I immediately just grabbed a fidget toy and just was using that. I didn't try and force myself to make eye contact if I didn't want to. I didn't worry about what my face was doing. I didn't worry about if I was smiling enough, or like, I didn't worry that I was looking too grumpy or anything. And just let myself move around as I needed. At one point they had like some squishmallows around, so I grabbed one of those and just kind of hugged it for a while because that was what I felt I needed. And it was, I've never done that before. Like, that was unthinkable to like hug a plushie in a meeting, an appointment, like in front of someone. And at one point the conversation got very difficult, and I was really emotional and I was really struggling, and the doctor asked if I was all right, and I actually said, can we take a break? Can I have 5 minutes? Again, I would never have done that. And it just made all the difference. Like, these small things in my experience in the past, I would never make these small allowances for myself. And when I would finish whatever meeting or appointment or whatever I was in, I would then just have like a breakdown. I'd come out of it and just be so emotionally overwhelmed that I would just not be able to function. But I walked out of that appointment and I was tired. I was so tired because it was like over 3 hours, and so like I was exhausted, but I was okay, and I was able to get back in my car and I was able to go like drive, and it was amazing for me. So then I had to wait a month for my results, and should I be having coffee this time in the evening? I don't know, honestly. I haven't ever really noticed that it keeps me awake at night. So just doing a little drum. I wonder what that sounds like. I don't know. Yes, okay, so I had to wait. I was sick with the flu for 2 of those 4 weeks, which is the worst flu I've ever had. It was worse than the time I got COVID. It was, let me tell you. The day came to get my results, and well, even like the day before, I was so scared that it would be a negative result, that I kind of just convinced myself that I would get a negative result. Like, I didn't think I could handle the disappointment. And I was talking to my mom about it, like, I'm mentioning that I'm so nervous, and she's like, well, what are you actually scared of? And in a brief moment of just total honesty, I just said, look, I'm scared because if the answer is no, and if I don't have autism, then it just means that I'm not trying hard enough. All the problems that I'm having are just a result that I haven't tried hard enough. Then it was time for my appointment, and it was a Zoom, like, video call. It wasn't Zoom, but it was a video call appointment, was just so nervous, and the doctor, she asked, like, how you're feeling, and I said I'm really nervous, and she asked why, and I said, like, it's just so, like, so much has led up to this moment. And then she was great. She's like, all right, well, let's just get it out of the way then. And she's like, I've looked at all of the info, and I've concluded that you have autism and have ADHD as well. And in those few moments before she actually said the diagnoses, like, my stomach was just swooping. It was like, oh, I felt so sick. I felt just like, it was unbelievable. So that was like, it was a lot to process when she told me. I don't have my report yet, like the paperwork hasn't come through yet, but she then went into some details of what led her to make the diagnoses, and like, we just talked about it a bit, and some of the like finer points. The ADHD. The ADHD came as a surprise. Like, I accepted it immediately, like, because I know that there's a really high, like a super high comorbidity between autism and ADHD. Anyway, so there was a point where she was describing the areas in which it seems that I really struggle the most and could use some support in. So she was describing that my executive functioning skills, things like organizing things, making plans, and getting started on tasks, getting started doing things. She said that I was in the 99th percentile, which means that in a room full of 100 people, I would have more executive functioning difficulties than the other 98, 99 people. Then she said my effort levels, I don't know how they calculate that, but my effort levels were in the 97th percentile. 97th. So at that point, I just started crying. I just started crying like a little baby. And the doctor was really good. She gave me space. She was very understanding, and I just explained, like, in my conversation with my mum, like, that was how I felt, that I just wasn't trying hard enough. For the doctor to say, like, you could literally not be trying any harder. It just made me sob. I feel like this is a pretty good representation of how my productivity works in a broader scale. I really get in the flow for a little bit, and everything will just come to a crashing halt. I'm currently tracing one of the cats on the mug. This one here. Just going around, tracing the little feet, tail, over and over again. So, that was all about a week ago, bit over a week ago. So I've had some time. I could say I've had some time to let it all settle, but I don't feel like it has settled, and it's been a very mentally tiring week. Even though I knew, or I thought I knew, that I, was neurodiverse. When I got the news, when I got the diagnosis, like I had to try and re-figure out my identity, and that's kind of still happening. And I've sort of realized that just because I got a diagnosis, it didn't just make all of my self-doubt disappear. I still feel like I've made it up, and there's a part of me, there's a part of me that still feels like I've just made it up, and I don't know, I've tricked people somehow. I'm like that's not me. That part of me that still says that I'm not trying hard enough, that's still there. And I do think I can work on it, but it's going to take some time. And some help. And there's just a lot to think about. And I'm sure I'll go over it more after I get the actual paperwork sent through. I'll be able to talk to the doctor more about it and talk to other doctors. I don't have to just make these decisions right now. But with ADHD, there's just trying to figure out what that means for me. And not only that, but how autism fits as well, because I still don't understand myself a lot, and I don't understand what I need, because I've been denying myself what I need my whole life, and I have to learn all of this stuff. And then not only that, but what does the two diagnoses together look like? And then also, with the ADHD, there's the question of, or the possibility, I guess, that I could go on medication for that. And as well as that, there's the possibility that I could go on the NDIS, which, if you don't live in Australia, you probably don't know what that is. But it's like a government thing. It stands for the National Disability Insurance Scheme. So So it's basically funding for people with disability. So what it means is I might be able to have access to possibilities that I didn't even consider. Like, maybe I could get a support worker, which is bizarre because I am a support worker. But I can help other people. I struggle when it comes to myself. Like, the two can coexist, but it just is kind of weird to say. And then on top of all that, it all comes back around. Like, I find it, I don't want to talk about it. Like, if my family tries to bring up this stuff, I don't want to talk about it because it just sounds so wrong. Like, I don't deserve it. Like, I don't deserve help. I don't deserve support because, again, I'm just not trying hard enough. And it makes me feel very selfish. But on the other hand, it would be so good, and I'm so excited about it. Like, I don't think I've said that in the whole video. I was so excited. I'm so happy overall to have these diagnoses. It's so fulfilling. It's so validating. It's so gonna make my life better. It's gonna give me answers to things, solutions. So I'm so happy about it. It's just a lot. Like I said, the mental energy that it takes. I think that'll probably do me for now. I'm sure I'll be talking about this more in other videos. I know this one has been kind of weird because it hasn't really been like an ASMR video. But I really just wanted to talk about it and just to share with you guys. And if you have like listened to this whole thing, then that's incredible, and thank you. It's been like almost an hour. I'll probably edit it down. There's a lot of long silences. What do you think of the blue hair? I really like it. My parents are supportive, kind of. I do believe they wish I hadn't dyed my hair, but they haven't outright said they don't like it, so I'll take that as a win. I've been wanting to dye my hair blue or kind of green. It turned out more blue than I thought, but I'm actually happy with that. For a while, like for months. And just this last week, it just felt like a good time. I really wanted to do something spontaneous, to do something like just for me, and to kind of help. Like, I feel different, so I wanted to do something like to make me also look different. Don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I don't feel like a different person. I'm still the same. I just feel like, you know, things have changed. Like, it's like a marker in my life. Yeah. I really appreciate you. More than you know, probably. I really love making videos. And I really love the connection. I really love connecting with you, like both through the comments and also just this act of sitting with you. It feels like connection to me. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing okay.